Hello everyone, good morning, good evening. Welcome to another PMP Q&A session. Today we will be discussing 10 more questions, and these questions are in line with the latest exam content outline. I hope you could see my screen, so let's start question number 1. All right, Manmeet, you have chosen option C.
I am wrong then. Okay. To my understanding of the question, for better management, scope, budget, actual cost, and schedule are integrated and has to be compared to the earned value. So I eliminated communication and transparency because I just thought it is not something we can acknowledge. Verbal communication, yes, can be a good part of uh, uh, communicating things, but it is not something we can acknowledge. Frequent review meetings, that's something can be good, but can be time consuming as well. A, I was not sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I picked C just for the one reason that reporting isn't written, maybe email version or something that we can go back to and check. So that's why I picked option C. The reporting infrastructure can help us that, okay, this is what we have done, and that's the comparison we can make. It's something a raw, data, something on which we can debate or compare or anything, which verbal communication and transparency won't bring to the table. That's why I picked option C.
All right, thank you, Manmeet. Priya, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, I thought that was the most appropriate option. It seemed to be where there's a lot of moving parts and you want to kind of um, find information in quickly. So I thought automating it would be a better option. Whether it's possible or not is the secondary question, but that would be the ideal option, I think.
All right, thank you. Robin, you have chosen option B.
I thought that in the question you wanted to look at the points of the different elements there. So if we're having frequent meetings, we could discuss those points and compare what the ups and downs are to find solutions and to find where we're going right or wrong. So that's why I chose option B.
All right, thank you. Shri, you have chosen option A.
Yeah, miss. Actually, I think that's wrong. Miss, decomposing, that's a higher level, but I saw that as one way of decomposing. But as others have explained, automated reporting, I was not very sure because that's automated, but then doing something on your own would give you a better understanding of where we are. So I would think B is the right here. I'm not sure about transparency and open communication. I'm not sure how far that would be really helpful here. So I am more leaning towards B rather than, even though I selected A initially. Something that the manager should do, the project manager should do is conduct frequent reviews is what I think, but I could be wrong. Hello.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for detailed explanation. So let's read the question again. It says a product manager is looking for better management at points where scope, budget, actual cost, and schedule are integrated. So better management at points where all these things are integrated and compare to earned value for performance measurement. So all the answers that you have provided, so for example, conduct frequent progress review meetings, automate reporting infrastructure for real-time monitoring, ensure transparency and open communications. These 3 points, they do not address this, like measuring or managing projects at point where scope, budget, actual cost, and schedules are integrated. All 3 or 4 things are integrated in work breakdown structure. So we decompose work breakdown structure into different levels. A WBS has multiple control accounts. So for example, control account 1, control account 2, control account 3. Each control account is further divided into planning package. So this is planning package 1, this is planning package 2. Each planning package is decomposed into multiple work packages. So work package 1, work package 2. So this is a typical decomposition or structure of work breakdown structure. Now, question is, what's the benefit of these control accounts? What is meant by control accounts? So large
Everything
projects are divided. Large projects are divided in multiple control accounts for better management. So what we do, we have a control account 1, and whatever we do in control account 1, so scope, cost, schedule, everything is integrated, and we manage the performance separately. So for example, if I say my overall project is behind schedule by 30%, let's suppose. On the other hand, I say in section A, I'm ahead of schedule. In section B, I'm behind schedule. In section C, I'm on schedule. So you get better idea about the progress of your project. So you divide your project into control accounts, and fundamental or one of the benefits of control accounts is to ensure management on those points. So you divide your project in different sections and you study the results or progress on section wise. This gives you a better understanding of how your different sections of projects are performing. So control accounts are the points where you integrate scope, schedule, cost, and you compare with earned value to see if you're performing well or not. So correct answer is option A. You need to decompose the scope into control points. All other options are generic, right? If the question says like you want to ensure monitoring, right? You want to do better monitoring and controlling of project, yes. You can conduct frequent progress review meeting, you can do automation, you can ensure transparency. These are generic options, and we have been discussing this again and again. If you have generic option and you have specific option, go with the specific option. All 3 options do not address the highlighted portion, which is this at points where scope, budget, actual cost, and schedules are integrated, right? So correct answer is option A. All other options are incorrect. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right, Mohan, you have chosen option D.
I I I kind of eliminated all the. I mean, none of the options were really good, right? I mean, I eliminated most of the options. Theory X, Theory Y is more on management controls, right? So the question is asking about the project manager reviewing the various organizational cultures, etc., to decide on what management strategies and leadership style they would adapt to. So really, that didn't fit the bill. Contingency theory, I'm not sure what that is. I mean, I know what contingency planning is, but again, I didn't know what that was. Systems theory, this is the first time I kind of heard about it, so I really let it say. EF really kind of fit the bill because it's about how these external or internal factors of the organization would shape the leadership style for a program, which the project manager could adapt or adopt. So I think that's what it would be.
All right, thank you. Priya, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, I think like Mohan said, I was not familiar with any of those theories. I know I'm familiar with theory X and Y, and that's not what this was. But considering the question itself, you know, he's looking into the size, the complexity, the environment of the team composition, organizational culture, all of them fit into the, you know, EEF factors. And there's also a clue in the fourth line of the question, these specific factors. So I think this is the right answer.
All right. Thank you for detailed explanation. Okay. So sometime I intentionally add such questions in the exam, or especially some terminologies which you have never heard of, because you can expect 2 or 3 such terminologies. I mean, 2 or 3 questions would be like that, where you see something that is entirely new. For example, in this question, you can see contingency theory, right? It is something entirely different. Okay, so it says a project manager is assessing the unique circumstances of their project, including its size, complexity, environment, team composition, and organizational culture. So first point is a PM is doing the assessment of their unique circumstances, right? And organizational culture. They decide to adapt their management strategies and leadership styles based on these specific factors. So the key word is, first, they are assessing, second, adaptation, right? So it's not just they're doing the assessment. So first, they're doing the assessment, then they change their plans or their styles and strategies accordingly. This is called contingency theory. So in management, contingency theory is a theory that says that you take care of your unique circumstances, you look into that, and accordingly you adapt. So this adaptation is called contingency theory. Enterprise environmental factor could have been the right answer if we just say you're looking into these factors or these circumstances, but this is not just you're assessing, you are changing accordingly. So adaptation is the key word. So contingency theory is the correct answer. Systems theory, what is system theory? System theory is a theory that says that if you want to understand parts of a system, try to understand the entire system, right? So have a holistic view, have a comprehensive view of the entire system if you understand behavior of each part. So for example, if you want to understand behavior of individuals, look at the entire society, the culture. That is systems theory. Theory X and theory Y, this is a management style. Theory X management style, theory Y management style. Theory X management style is a kind of micromanagement, and theory Y is more like servant leadership, where we have self-organization. And enterprise environmental factors are the conditions that could potentially impact your project, right? So they are internal or external. So for example, size, complexity, environment, team composition, organization culture All of these are enterprise environmental factor, but the question is not about what are these factors. Question is about what's happening, which concept is being applied. So concept is you understand your unique circumstances and accordingly you adapt. So this is called contingency theory, right? Source of this data or this concept is glossary of PMI terms and terminologies that I have shared with you. Okay, so please, before your exam, go through that set of definitions that I have already shared with you. That's really, really helpful. One, it would help you in revision, and second, you can go through the entire. You can find some terminologies which are not in other publications. Okay, correct answer is option B. Let's read the explanation. All right, so this approach allows for flexibility and situational awareness. All right, next question. All right, Carlos, you have chosen option A.
Yeah, it sounds for me that the defining the process to incorporate changes has to do with configuration management. And if you include this into configuration management, you will be able to incorporate changes to the project. That's what I thought.
All right, thank you, Carlos. Manmeet, you have chosen option A. What's wrong with option B, Manmeet?
For the same reason, like to my mind, configuration is it's a plan, it's a document that is created to have a comprehensive document detailing to configure with the project. That's why I picked option A. Change management plan is to my understanding, that's a procedure that has the details of organizational changes. That's why I did not pick option B.
Change management plan is a document that has organizational changes. This is what you're saying, right?
That outlines the procedures that has organizational changes in the project. To my understanding, I can't be wrong.
So
It's a change request that we can submit. I know that one. I read it.
So if
What
I
else we can
rephrase,
do?
you're saying change management plan contains processes and procedures on how to
Yes.
manage changes, right?
Yes, in the project. Yes.
Okay, that's correct. Okay.
Sorry, I was not really good with the putting up a definition.
No, it's okay. So correct answer is option A, review and update the configuration management plan. Almost all of you have picked option A. So yes, that is correct. So difference between configuration and change is that change management plan contains processes, policies, procedures, rules, and responsibilities regarding how to manage change to the project. So for example, if there is a change request, if customer requests an additional scope, how to handle that scope. So for example, they would be submitting a change request would be added in a change log, then preliminary impact assessment would be done, then so entire process is laid down in change management plan. As a result of a change in one of the sections or one of the knowledge areas or one of the dimensions of the project, for example, any change in scope changes in schedule, cost, risk, resources. So as a result of that, you need to update other documents. So updation of other documents as a result of a change is called configuration management. So if you read the question, it says, a PM is concerned with streamlining documentation for the project, number one, and defining processes for incorporating changes to project artifacts. Project artifacts are project documents, means how to incorporate a change in project artifacts. So the process is laid down in configuration management plan. So configuration management plan highlights how documents should be updated. And one of the important components of configuration management plan is version control system. So if there is a confusion about different versions of the documents, or team members are not having the updated version, then the right choice would be configuration management plan. You will be working on that. Okay, so correct answer is option A. All other options are incorrect. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right. Carlos, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, so I disregarded A because it doesn't say it's a majority. C is not unanimity. D is where not everybody agrees, but they agree to disagree, and for the sake of the project to go forward. That's what I understood.
All right, Carlos, what is unanimity?
That everybody chooses the same solution.
So isn't it same like consensus? No?
Close, but consensus is that at the end you can have I guess the consensus is that, yeah, some people don't think that that's the right choice, but they decide to say, okay, well, let's do this. We all agree to disagree, let's say, and let's go forward.
All right. And how did you know this? I mean, on which basis you answered this? Based on your experience, or you read this somewhere in the
No,
code?
experience is something that I learned in work. One of our bosses in the government said, it's okay if in a room, if we don't all agree, at the end, what we choose to do, we go out and this is what we do in front of the team. That's where I got it from.
All right. Thank you, Carlos, for detailed explanation. Okay. Robin, you have chosen option B.
It was 50% a guess, but the question's a bit confusing in that the team would agree on something that's not really fully agreed by the team. And as far as I can remember, option B fits in with that.
Yes. So you're right. The question is quite confusing. So let's explore this. It says during a project meeting, the team needs to decide on the implementation approach for a new feature. After extensive discussion, not all team members agreed on the chosen approach.
Amar, you're muted.
Sorry. So thank you, Robin, for detailed explanation. So yes, the question is quite confusing. Let's explore this. It says during a project meeting, the team needs to decide on the implementation approach for a new feature. So let's suppose there are two approaches, A and B, and they need to pick one, right? So not all team members agree on the chosen approach. So let's suppose majority or most of the people, they have chosen option B. We can say either 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%. Let's suppose 60% of people, they have chosen option B. Now, 40%, they are inclined towards A. However, for group unity and to have a single direction, 100% they say, okay, we have some reservations, but we support option B. We support this decision. You understand, everybody? I have reservation. I'm not fully convinced that B should be the right choice. However, since most of the people have chosen this, and I also want to support my group, so I'm okay with whatever majority has chosen. Now, this is the situation here, right? Agreeing with something with some reservation, that's what's happening. So after extensive discussion, not all team members agree on the chosen approach. Means not all team members agree on approach B, but everyone agrees to support the final decision. Whatever the final decision is, okay, we will be going with B, okay, we agree with that. To ensure project progress, what is the group decision-making technique called? Okay. Majority means when more than 50% of the participants are in favor of a decision, that is called majority. Here, it's not just about majority. Majority is 60% of the participants, they have chosen option B. 40%, they do not support this option. They maintain their position with A. That is called majority. But in this statement, something else is happening. They're saying, okay, we are not choosing option B, but we are still supporting you for group unity. So this is not majority. You understand, everybody? Majority is 60% are supporting, 40% are against. That's it. And a decision has been made. This is called majority. However, in the statement, a different scenario is presented. Plurality. Plurality is option that is chosen by the largest block is selected. So for example, 40% of the participants, they choose option A, 30% choose option B, 20% go with option C, and 10% go with option D. Now, this option would be chosen, regardless of the fact if B, C, D support or they don't support. You understand? So we only pick option that is chosen by the largest block. Unanimity is when 100% of the participants pick one option. Again, this is not a situation. Consensus is the right option, that is option D, where people have some reservation. 100% of people, they are not in line with the chosen option. However, at the end, they say, okay, we have some reservation, but since most of people have chosen this, we are going with option B. So that is called consensus. Agreeing when you have some reservation. So this is called consensus. I hope it is clear. Correct answer is option D. Let's read the explanation. If you have any comment, any further explanation or confusion, feel free to write in the chat window, or you can just unmute yourself and say what you want to say. Okay, let's read the explanation. All right, I hope you're clear. Next question. All right. Priya, you have chosen option B.
Yeah, so I thought the monetary value of a risk is 21,000. So 70% of X is 21,000. So 100% would be 30,000. That was my calculation.
Okay. So you're saying 30,000 is the right answer.
Yes, I just made a quick guess.
Okay, thank you. Mohan, you have chosen option B.
I don't have a really good guess here, but basically I think I looked at the thing. It says it's a negative financial impact of 30,000, right? So the risk is already assessed in terms of the contingency, right? So that's why I kind of assume that that is the amount you want to keep as your contingency reserve.
All right, thank you. Carlos, you have chosen option A.
Yeah, maybe I'm not sure if I'm reading it right, but normally when you assess a risk, you have a percentage of probability, like most likely, worst and best case. And what I've seen normally is that the risk that goes onto the financials is the probability of the full risk. So in this case, it would be 0.7 times 30,000 is 21,000. That's maybe I'm reading it wrong.
All right, thank you, Carlos, for explanation. So I forgot to mention in the last question when I asked Carlos on which basis you picked consensus. So he said it was based on his experience. So most of the time, your experience would also be helpful in answering the question, okay? So if you're not able to find the right answer, think how you would be doing things in real life, right? So that is really, really helpful. When you are clueless, imagine you are in a situation, you are the project manager, how you would be handling that. So most of the time, this would help you when you're confused. So here, correct answer is option A, $21,000, because amount of contingency reserve is calculated through expected monetary value, EMV. And what is EMV? The formula for EMV is expected monetary value is equal to probability into impact. So EMV is already written 21,000. Whatever the EMV is, that is the amount of contingency reserve. And we can do that 0.7 into 30,000. So answer is 21,000. We do not set aside 100% of the impact. Otherwise, we will have a lot of reserve. You understand, everyone? So for example, if we have risk 1, risk 2, risk 3, and for risk 1, impact is 5K, for risk 2, it's 7K, for risk 3, it's 8K, right? So 5K, 7K, 8K. So let's suppose 12, 8, 20K. So you need a reserve of $20,000. However, you're not sure if all three risks would be occurring or some of risk would be occurring. So that's why we reduce it by multiplying it with relevant probabilities. So maybe you will be having 10K because you know that all risk would not be occurring. If all risk would be occurring, it means these are not risks. You understand, everybody? So correct answer is option A. All other options are incorrect. Let's read the explanation. So this is probably the easiest question, right? But sometimes we miss very basic information because intuitively we understand, but we don't understand the logic or rationale behind that. So yes, let's move to the next question. All right, Mohan, you have chosen two options, A and C.
Yeah, yeah, it's clearly between the two, right?
Of course it is. Either it would be cost of non-conformance or conformance.
Right. I mean, I think it's cost of conformance because you are putting in that investment in order to be compliant to the qualities. So I think C would be the best option in my opinion.
All right, Manmeet, you have chosen option A. You're on mute, Manmeet.
Sorry. I was very confused too. To my understanding, conformance is that is something we have within the system. Like it's a process to go on with the quality and the service that is within the organization itself. Like conference to the standards of the organization or the project or standard levels. Non-conformance is something that we are investing in the technology that we do not have, or people do not have that. That's why we're investing in it so that they can educate themselves. So that's the thought came to my mind and I picked. Not a good example, I know, not a good explanation. I'm still trying to figure out what's happening in my head, but to my understanding, it's A.
No, I like the logic, like how you can make the wrong option right with the right explanation. I like the explanation.
Sorry.
All right, thank you. Okay, correct answer is option C, cost of conformance. So see, first we need to understand the difference between conformance and non-conformance. So conformance is when the product that you are developing or building, they are in line with the quality standards. That is called conformance, conformance to the standards. Non-conformance means when you're building something and that is not in line or that is not according to the quality standards or quality protocols. What's happening here? As part of a new project, a company has decided to invest significantly in training its staff on the latest technologies and methodologies to ensure high quality deliverables and minimize error. So there is no non-conformance happening right now. We are training our people so that we conform to the quality standard. So this is called cost of conformance. What would be cost of non-conformance? For example, if you build a product and it has a defect or a fault, now we have a non-conformance. And whatever cost you invest to address that non-conformance, that is called cost of non-conformance. For example, internal failure cost. What is internal failure cost? If you have a defect and you spend some money to rectify that, that is called non-conformance. So there is no non-conformance happening in this statement. We are investing to train our people to make sure that whatever product we will be building, that would be in line with the quality standard. So normally we divide cost in two categories. Let me explain it. Cost of conformance and cost of non-conformance. Conformance cost is further divided in two categories: cost of appraisal and cost of prevention. Non-conformance cost is divided in two categories: internal failure and external failure, right? So first thing, there is no failure in the question statement, right? So it won't be this, neither internal nor external. So we can simply exclude non-conformance. Appraisal. Appraisal is the cost that you spend to appraise the product, right? So for example, your review costs, your testing costs, your inspection cost, your sampling cost, all of these are appraisals cost. Prevention cost. Prevention is you are taking preemptive measure to make sure that whatever you will be building, that would be in line with the quality standard. So in this statement, we're talking about cost of prevention. We are training our people so that we prevent defects or faulty products. So correct answer is option C. It is cost of conformance. I hope it is clear. Let's read the explanation. There is a question how it is different from cost of quality. If I go back collectively, let me just explain it. All costs are called cost of quality. So cost of quality is the umbrella term that is further divided into two main categories, and those two categories are further divided into subcategories. I hope it is clear what is the difference between cost of quality and cost of conformance. All right, next question. All right, Shri, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, I was a bit, uh, I'm tied up between C and D. Probably I'm a bit confused between the two. Here it says it is cost, whatever is the cost that the um, whatever was spent, it is being paid. So that is the cost is already there. So cost plus incentive and award. That's where I was a bit lost. So award because I I think just award is just a fixed amount, but here they're talking about based on the satisfaction with the project performance, and award based is saying. So that's why I thought it is something to do with award fixed amount on top of whatever is spent. So that way I picked D. But yeah, I would say I
You're
considered a
saying,
few words and then yeah.
so Shri, you're saying since the word awarded is used in the statement, so it's cost plus award fee.
Yeah, there's again it says client's evaluation and then giving an award. So I'm just thinking that it is a kind of fixed one, not percentage based. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you for
it could be fixed fee also. No, cost plus fixed fee also, but award I just took that as one of the information.
Okay. Thank you. Carlos, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, in the same note, an incentive is going to be something you give out to incentivize performance or well delivery or good delivery, and an award fee would be something that you give when something's completed after job well done or bad done or whatever.
All right, so that is correct. Correct answer is option D. It's a cost plus award fee contract. Difference between incentive fee and award fee is that incentive is predefined in the contract. Like this would be the incentive. Okay. So for example, we say, okay, we will be paying actual cost. Suppose actual cost is $200,000. And we say, okay, if the project is completed a month earlier or 2 months earlier, we will be paying an incentive on monthly basis. So for example, we will be paying, let's suppose, $5,000 per month up to maximum ceiling point. Now, this is an incentive. If the project is completed 2 months earlier than initially agreed, so the seller would be getting $210,000. 3 months earlier, $215,000 up to whatever the maximum ceiling is. Now, this is an incentive. What is award fee? Award fee is, okay, we will be paying actual cost with profit, right? Sorry, award. I'm going to talk about award, right? So award is you're paying actual cost with profit, whatever the profit is agreed, profit would be here as well, plus an award. Award is kind of a bonus that is at the discretion of the buyer based on the satisfaction level. It is not predefined what would be the award. If client or the buyer, they are very satisfied, maybe they would be paying $20,000 as a award. Maybe they're paying 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, depending upon their satisfaction. So it's discretionary, right? So this fee was not predetermined and awarded based on the client's evaluation, right? So this question maybe it become easier because word awarded is used. I forgot to replace it, but still the option D is the right answer. Cost plus award fee, not incentive fee. Cost plus fixed fee contract. What is that? Fixed fee is, for example, you say, okay, 200,000 plus a predefined profit, $30,000. So total 250,000 would be paid. But here we are saying an extra fee is being paid. So this extra fee is an award fee. So correct answer is option D. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right, Carlos, you have chosen option D.
Yeah, you can compress the schedule depending on what you're producing, but you can compress it and get it back on track in terms of delivery. And the problem with that one I see is that you might need some more resources, which that kind of goes into the crashing portion of it. But so I'm a little confused, but I think D is the one.
All right, thank you, Carlos. Shri, you have chosen option B.
Yes. So in this question, it says negative schedule variance and a negative cost variance, which means they're behind schedule as well as they have already over budget. So I don't think crashing would be an option here because it's already above budget, right? So fast tracking is where they can do parallel. That way they can speed up the process as well as uh, they can just maintain whatever is the budget they have. So that was the reason. But resource optimization, I'm not sure how that would affect resource means they're trying to optimize the resources, but I don't see how that would be useful here. Even schedule compression, that's what they're trying to do by the fast tracking part of it. So in that way, I picked fast tracking.
Absolutely, and thank you for detailed explanation. Correct answer is fast tracking, and explanation is absolutely right. So what's happening here? We have negative variances means we are behind schedule and we are already over budget, right? If we have negative cost variance, it means we are over budget. We are having problem with the existing budget. If we are already over budget, crashing won't be the solution, because crashing would it means we are adding more resources and it would have a lot of impact on cost. So crashing won't be an option. So schedule compression, it's the umbrella term, and there are two ways of compressing your schedule. One is crashing, which is adding resources, and second is fast tracking. Fast tracking means doing activities in parallel fashion, right? So there are only two ways where you can compress your schedule. One is crashing, other is fast tracking. Crashing you can do, so the only option that you have is fast tracking. So this fast tracking is slightly different. Just to explain, maybe you're having a question in your mind, like when you fast track, when people are working simultaneously, it also means you need more resources. You understand, everybody? If you're working on more than one activity at the same time, it means you need more resources. So it should be actually crashing. You understand what I'm saying? So for example, if you're working on 3 activities right now, and you want to work on 8 activities because of fast tracking, so you need maybe 8 people or more people. So effectively, fast tracking leads to crashing, but no, that's not the case. When we say crashing, this crashing is slightly different. So for example, you have 3 teams. So you have team A, who would be working here. You have team B. Team B would be working here. And then we have team C would be working here. Now, we have separate teams for A, B, C. It's not like that we have shared resources. So now we have finished to start relationship here. So instead of this, what we do is we ask these teams to start work simultaneously. So A would be working here. B team would start working here. And C team would start working here. So we're not adding any extra resource. We are using the same crews, but they are working simultaneously. So this is what we call fast tracking. So there is no requirement for additional resources. So no additional resources, there won't be any impact on cost. So the best choice is fast tracking. However, when you do fast tracking, risk factor of project goes up because you are multitasking, and when you multitask, there is a risk or chances of doing things wrong. So crashing leads to more expenditures. Fast tracking leads to higher risk factor. Okay, so B is correct answer. Let's read the explanation. So yes, I hope you have read the example as well. This is a good example. Next question. All right, Priya, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, I was really confused by the several options. I thought this was the, I definitely thought this would be the, I'm not sure.
The critical path.
Critical path. Yes, that was the word I was looking for. Yeah, so, but I'm not sure.
All right. Thank you. Mohan, you have chosen option A.
Yeah, so I mean, the definition of critical path is essentially the longest possible duration, right? So you have the different paths to go from start to finish. So what would be the longest possible duration, right? You pick the largest number in terms of number of days or months or whatever, right? And then what is the shortest path to get to it? So I thought that was the best option.
All right. Thank you. Robin, you have chosen option D.
I also got horribly confused, but then I thought that in that last sentence, the project cannot be shortened without affecting the project completion date. So we must have the shortest path then. So that's why I chose option D.
All right. Thank you. Shri, you have chosen option B.
Yes, so this is kind of confusing. Means again, it is the longest path because nothing can go shorter than this. So that's the longest path. That's how I picked that word. Shortest possible duration because I I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, right. Thank you, everybody. So correct answer is option B. It's the longest path in a network diagram and shortest possible duration in which you can complete a project. What does it mean? So in order to explain this, I would like to go back and maybe we can see some example here if I have. So I hope you could see this network diagram, right? Okay. So in this network diagram, there are 4 paths. So we have A, B, D, E, G. And sum of the duration of A, B, D, E, G is 31 days. So 5 plus 12, 17, 7, 24, 26, and 31, right? Second path is A, B, D, F, G, and it is 44 days. Third is A, C, D, E, G, and 37 days. And fourth is A, C, D, F, G, 50 days. Remember, longest path in the network diagram is critical path. Is it clear, everybody? You understand? It means all the activities on the critical path which is A, C, D, F, G are critical. So you can see A is critical in red, C is critical, D is critical, F is critical, and G is critical. So this is your critical path because it has the longest duration of the path. So longest path on a network diagram is called critical path. And at the same time, it's the shortest possible duration in which you can complete all the activities. Shortest possible, like you cannot complete this project in 49 days. The shortest is 50. You understand, everybody? Does it make sense? So on a network diagram, it's the longest path among all the paths, but at the same time, it's the shortest possible duration. So critical path is the longest path. At the same time, it's the shortest possible duration. Now, maybe you get confused, like how it is shortest possible duration, because 31 is also shortest. You understand? But by doing 31, you won't be able to complete all the activities. In 31 days, you cannot complete this project. You understand? So we're talking about shortest possible duration in which you complete the project. That is 50 days. You cannot complete this project in 50 days. Isn't it the highest duration? No, it's not the highest duration. Highest could be 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, anything, right? It's the shortest possible duration in which you can complete the product. And it's the longest path among all the paths available. Okay. So correct answer is it's the longest path and shortest possible duration. If you're confused, you can ask, right? This is important. All right. So correct answer is it's the longest path and shortest possible duration to complete the project. Okay. Let's read the explanation. All right, next question. All right. Shri, you have chosen option B.
Yeah, I again I need to go with all the definitions here, but for some reason I felt that Kanban because that is something which is not something that fits all the scenarios or solutions, but it depends on means it is work in progress, right? How the work is done. So that way, it depends. It's not a fixed time boxing kind of a thing, or it's not just one size solution. So I could be wrong, but that's how I was my thinking.
All right, thank you. But Shri, when you use Kanban, it's just one process, right? There are no different processes under Kanban. When you say it's Kanban, it's a single process for all the projects. You understand?
Oh,
So
okay.
it doesn't take care of uniqueness or different characteristics. If you're using Kanban, you will be using Kanban, right? And it's a single process that you will be using. All right. Carlos, you have chosen option C.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I didn't know what it was, but I looked it up. So it's several methodologies that adapt to the particular circumstances. I never heard of that. Sorry.
Yes,
So that's why I
absolutely.
chose it.
Absolutely. Correct answer is option C. Priya, you have chosen option C.
Yeah.
Project.
So, yeah, the crystals stood out to me because they have different levels. You have orange, you have red. I forget what the other ones are, but it depends upon the level of uncertainty and, risk involved. So I thought that might be the right option.
Yes, that is correct. So crystal is the right answer. It's combination of various approaches that you use based on varying circumstances, right? So crystal is the right answer. Lean, Kanban, extreme programming, they have just singular or uniform approach for all the projects. So correct answer is option C. So you can expect a terminology like crystal in the exam. So why we have a question like that? If you see this terminology, you should be very well prepared. Let's read the explanation. All right, so this is also in line with the contingency theory that we discussed on question number 1, I guess. All right, everybody, we're done with today's session. Special thanks to people who answer, right? With your answers, people learn. I get a lot of messages on LinkedIn and YouTube. People, they appreciate these sessions. Why? Because they say they learn from people who answer. So anyone who is answering or who answered during this session, I'm thankful to those because of you, people are learning, right? And that's why I encourage all of you to answer, because there is no judgment here, right? It's a learning process. There is nothing right and wrong. Even I can, if I answer, if somebody else makes question, I won't be able to answer, right? So there is no judgment. Please answer, actively participate in this session and try to learn. Also share details of my next course that is starting on 13th of July with your colleagues and friends, and people who are watching on YouTube, they can contact on the contact number for registration. Okay, just put your score in the chat window. What's your score in today's mock test? Okay, 50%, 60%, 60, 60, 50. Okay. If I compare this today's mock test with previous one, this is relatively easy, okay? But anything that is more than 50% is good. Anything that is less than 50% means you need to go back and review the content, okay? You can either read a book, or you can review class notes, or you can review PowerPoint slides, whatever you have that I have provided to you, you can review those, okay? Because less than 50% means you lack basic understanding of these concepts. So please go back and review those concepts. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow with interesting lesson. Bye.
Thank you.